Not all activities do the same thing, and the same activity can do a bunch of different things. It's how you choose to use that activity and the time you've given. I put together the activity continuum just to help me understand how I can best select a type of activity to do given the depth that we need to accomplish and the time that we have. You can be experiential in facilitation with just a few minutes. Tell a story. Tell a story that taps into experiences your audiences haven't had in the past. I think about one of the best experiential teachers was Jesus, and he just said, consider the lilies of the field. They were standing in a field when he said that. And all of a sudden, they are experiencing that location just by a few words. So illustrations can be really powerful experiential opportunities when you only have a minute or less to get them into an experience. Object lessons. You might have to build something around. It may take a few more minutes, but if you can attach meaning to an object, then whenever they encounter that object in the future, whenever they experience that object in the future, that meaning comes flooding back. So again, not a lot of time needed to do that, but you can get a little bit more depth because it's attached to an object. Let's talk about what I would call metaphorical initiatives. It's where you've set out a story behind an activity, an exercise. These are some of the classic ones where you want to set up a specific outcome, and you do that by telling a story. You're going across an acid river. You have to cross, one of my favorite ones is Mucus River, where they have to step on these steps, and there's a mucus monster out there. You can do these fanciful metaphors, or you could turn it into specific metaphors where you say each of these paths are part of your plan. How are you going to build your plan and lay it out to get across? So you can build that metaphor, and you can have a very specific outcome in mind when you design that activity. So it takes a little bit more time and it goes a little bit deeper, but you can go even deeper than that with what I call diagnostic activities. You don't necessarily have an outcome in mind other than for the group to reveal themselves. It means that there's a little bit less direction, and you're not setting up a metaphor in the preview. You're not necessarily looking for a specific something to talk about in the debrief. What you want to do is have the group reveal themselves through that experience. You can use the same activities that you did in the metaphorical ones. You just don't build it. For instance, metaphorical trust fall. We're going to climb up on something, we're going to fall, and we're going to trust, and when we fall, we're going to trust, and trust when we fall. And that's what we're going to talk about when we debrief, is the trust that the faller experienced when they fell. Now, what if you change that around and you want to do a little bit more diagnostic? What if you just call it falling and catching? Now there's no metaphor or meaning attached to the activity itself, and you can explore a lot of different things in the debrief. You're gonna get not just into trust, but responsibility, self-image. I can't tell you the depth of debrief we've had, not with the people falling, but with the people catching. And the responsibility that they feel. What if they drop somebody? Or even it's not about trust with the person falling, it's about self-image. So those are diagnostic initiatives. What about undirected initiatives? That is even a broader thing. You have resources out there. You can just send people over and say, here's the object. Here's the objective. Do this. There's no story involved. It's just a challenge. And the undirected initiative opens up the possibility for debrief even deeper and outcomes even deeper. As a facilitator, I may know what issues this particular initiative brings up, but I allow the group to direct that particular experience and what meaning they need to get out of it. What about the last one? Discovery. This, you see, the discovery approach, the discovery activity, that's for extended. You get really, really deep, but it takes a lot of time. This is that 3 or 4 week outward bound course where, yeah, the other types of activities are components of it, but ultimately that whole month-long experience is discovery. Internships can be designed for discovery. So when you're selecting activities, when you're making a sequence, look at the time that you have and the depth that you need to get to, and figure out the best type of activity to choose.